What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy, having a great day so far, and of course testing negative for all those viruses. It is time now for the Friday edition of the virus update for Friday, September 26th, 2025. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where I do the daily virus update on all those viruses that can make us sick. There's a lot of viruses out there, and you need to be informed of what's going on with things such as flu, COVID, norovirus, RSV, just the random illnesses. Yes, you need to be informed of all this, and that's what I do here on my channel each and every day. Want to stay informed? Subscribe to my channel down below. If you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. The more people that hit that like button, the more YouTube is going to push this content out. Share this video with anyone you know, and of course, leave your comments down below. Already, we do have several news stories to take a look at today. We also have some new data from the CDC, and hopefully something from New York State. As of 1:23 on Friday afternoon, New York State has not yet updated. We're still waiting for that to update. So we'll see. We'll hit the refresh button when we get to that tab. Starting off with this, the U.S. CDC, Centers for Disease Control, reports the COVID positivity this week of 7.8%, with 70% of the regions reporting higher positivity or increased testing from last week, which I find that to be very interesting. Again, we are past peak with this wave, but there is the problem where a lot of people are just not getting tested. And if they are getting tested, it is with the at-home test, which for the most part is not being reported to the CDC, which does result in higher positivity rates. The biggest issue, obviously, is just people not testing. I think it's just a cold or this or that. Surprise, it's COVID. For some people, COVID has no symptoms, asymptomatic case. For some people, it has minor symptoms. For some, it's like a cold or a bad cold. For others, it's a really bad virus, worse than the flu. I mean, it is different for everybody, and because it can be so different, when you have those cases that aren't as big of a deal, such as asymptomatic or very minor symptoms, you often don't think to test. And when you're not testing for something, obviously the positivity rates are going to be higher when we're in a time where cases are still elevated, though dropping in most regions. I say most regions because you're going to see something, or somewhere I should say, that is not dropping later in this video when we get to wastewater portion of the CDC Friday update. Now moving on to this from Glador. COVID in the Republic of Ireland. Get this, weekly confirmed COVID hospitalizations in the Republic of Ireland. And we can see here, it looks like there is an overall trend upward. Yes, sadly, Ireland's COVID hospitalizations are continuing to go up at this point. A lot of Europe at this time is experiencing a COVID wave. Take a look at this. France, COVID-19 cases are rising. This is from Dennis the COVID Info Guy. Between September 15th through the 21st, France recorded 32,610 new COVID-19 cases, 6,000 more than the week before. Nearly 50 in every 100,000 people had the virus. Reported cases, ages 0 to 14, 3,394 cases. Ages 15 through 64, 22,211 cases. Ages 65 plus, 7,005 cases. So yes, France is continuing to see a pretty significant rise for COVID at this point. And the UK, if you did not see yesterday's video, also reported an increase in COVID cases. The UK reported 1,995 cases, up by 250, which that is pretty significant. It says 14.3%, but it's more significant than you think, because in the UK, a lot of the testing is the at-home testing variety, so or not testing at all. And France and Ireland, I would think at-home testing probably makes up a large number of people finding out if they have COVID there as well. The healthcare use in the UK also went up, and the positivity rate was over 10.2% in the UK. It did peak at 10.3%. So, yes, Europe is seeing an increase for COVID at this time. Speaking of Europe, we do have another problem there. In Glasgow, or near Glasgow, this being in the UK we're talking about now, a deep cleaning for a school near Glasgow after pupils Struck by illness. Yes, this is not good whatsoever. There has been a high level of sickness, and I hate to even say this word, but we gotta say it. Diarrhea reported by staff and parents of a school there. You guessed it, it could be norovirus. Hey, COVID can also cause these symptoms as well. There's a lot of illnesses going around, and they're saying, oh, they're going to be doing a deep clean over the weekend in the school, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's the surfaces. Why not clean the air? I got an air purifier behind me. There should be one of those in every classroom, in every school all around the world, and many other settings as well. So, yeah, unless you're actually cleaning the air, which we know, norovirus and some of the other viruses, yeah, sure, they can be on the surface, but we also need to be cleaning the air as well, because a lot of these respiratory viruses, you're breathing it in. It really is a big problem. All right, moving on now to this. COVID-19 outbreaks in Australian residential aged care facilities. This is through September 25th, 2025. Active cases, 229. Active outbreaks, 57. All this here, except for deaths, is going down at this time. Residential cases, 176. Staff cases, 53. They did add 2 new reported deaths. I don't know, actually. Is that an increase from last week's death? I honestly don't remember, but as for cases, that is significant decreases in active cases. We're seeing down by 39.4% there. So that is really good. When we take a look at the deaths, 7,591 aged care COVID deaths since the beginning of the pandemic there, and 387 of them are this year, with the biggest number, believe it or not, being in 2022. So that's something that is interesting to report. In Wisconsin, we do have a problem with bird flu. We've been talking about it a lot lately. Birds are migrating to the south for winter, and bird flu is now identified in a Jefferson County poultry flock. And since we're talking about bird flu, we might as well just skip right over to the bird tracker, where we track the migration of the birds, and let's see how many birds migrate in the last 24 hours. We were peaking close to 1 billion at a single moment. In fact, wow, 1.2 billion at a single moment. And take a look at this. Right over Kentucky and Tennessee was really the epicenter of just a ton of birds moving south. And, I'm someone who has a hobby in meteorology. I've been tracking it ever since I was a kid. Some said I should have went on to become a meteorologist. Did not do that. And one thing I like to watch is storms and various different things. Of course, we had some rain here the other day. We had some rain last night. And, I've been watching radar in various different places. And that's really what makes this map. It's birds being detected by radar, and I can clear as day see all the bird movements. And I was seeing it in Alabama and portions of Mississippi this morning. So, yeah, birds are moving to the south. Well over 1 billion birds in the last 24 hours have migrated to the south. So, if you've seen hummingbirds the last couple of days in the north, chances are you're probably not going to be seeing them anymore, because they're probably some of the birds that have migrated to the south for winter. All right, moving on now to this. West Nile virus, yet again, is an issue. This time, once again, we're talking about Wisconsin. It's Portage County, Wisconsin, which is dealing with West Nile virus. And yes, we've been talking about cases seems like almost every day this week. We have at least mentioned one place that is dealing with a case of West Nile virus. I suspect we're going to continue talking about this until we get some sustained cooler weather. I have not seen that lately. Matter of fact, I just seen on social media a relative in Ohio just went for their last swim still. The community they live in, the pool just now closed. So it just goes to show you, it's been really warm going into this start of fall. Hopefully that's going to change soon, and if you don't like cooler weather, I'm sorry, but it's one of the things we need to get the mosquitoes to stop for the season. Already, I said I was going to do this, and I did do this. If you had to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 how much coughing you are hearing, where you are right now, with 1 being a low amount and 10 being a high, what would you rate it? Some answers may get used on today's update. And I said yesterday my coffee meter was a 7. So we got a whole bunch of responses to this. In fact, let's refresh this. There are just a whole slew of responses. And we can see Becky A. Robertson said a 7 in McKinney, Texas. Pessimistic person said a 2 out of a 10. Let's see here. Sci-Fi showed this, that in LA, that the COVID levels, yeah, they were still going up to September 7th. I believe that has not updated in a while. And we do see Rita said, New York City in a grade school, 70% of the kids at this time are coughing. Yikes, that's not good. Biology said, this is in London now, said 4. Let's see, let's just randomly pick. Like I said, there's a lot of different things. Look at this, Spain. Mike Carson says 1 at this time. So it's good to see Spain is not really that high right now. Rural SA, South Australia, I assume. Maybe you're from. And it looks like you're 8-ish at this time. Constant coughing. It is still winter time over there. And we will do just 1 more, shall we? Someone else says London, Dane. Ooh, 10 out of 10. Yikes, that's not good. Thank you so much for all the responses. Hey, keep the responses coming in. If I get time later on, I will go through and hit the like button on as many of these as I can. All right, I believe we have one more piece of news. Yes, we do have one of these concerning wastewater sites. This is Lewiston, Maine, and I'm very familiar with this area because just southwest of there is where I would take summer vacation for, I don't know, what am I, 35 now? Yep, I hate to admit it, I'm 35 years old, but been going there for at least 30 of the years. There were a couple missed years. One was including the first year of COVID, but Lewiston, Maine, the wastewater there is just significantly upward. Now, Lewiston itself is a town. Yes, there's probably a sewer system there, but you go to the southwest of those areas, that area, it's called the Lakes region, where there are a lot of lakes, there's a lot of camps, many of them that are not winterized, so right now we're pretty late in the season, less and less people are going to their camps, we're starting to come into winter. If it was about a month or 2 ago and we were seeing this, well, that would be even greater of a concern, but it really is a big concern, because what I'm leading up to is a lot of these camps that are on lakes are not connected to sewage systems. They have septic tanks. My aunt and uncle's place, it's a septic tank. And to see it going up this high when the population in this area is lower now, that's really concerning. And one of the things that comes to mind, I've heard people mention this before, if an individual person is spitting out a high viral load, it can send a local wastewater site upward. Now, someone in here said, was it here? I think it was over on Blue Sky, because I posted this there as well. Someone said, that may not be the case. It just may actually be really high number of people sick at this time. So, yes, this is relatively concerning, and the Northeast region as a whole, yeah, still not doing great. Alrighty, moving on. Now let's take a look at the viral activity levels in Canada. COVID-19 is moderate. Flu A is low. Flu B is low. RSV also listed at low at this time. Let's take a look at what is going on now for air qualities. While we wait for that to load, let's pause and take a hydration break, shall we? And we do see a little bit more of a spread of those reds and purples up there. Of course, it is still wildfire season in the Pacific Northwest, and we can see some of those reds and oranges do make their way over into Montana. We see a lot of yellows and some oranges in California today. Also some yellows and yellowish greens in the east. So not great in the east, but not as bad as the Pacific Northwest. Taking a look at what is going on in Pinellas County, Florida, and we do see here that there are a few sick person calls and some other things going on at this time. Not as many sick person calls as yesterday. Speaking of yesterday, Philadelphia had 888 EMS incidents yesterday. That's not a good thing. Taking a look at what's going on in Montgomery County right now, whoa. We're seeing 18 active calls. We're seeing respiratory emergency. We're seeing cardiac arrest show up. Taking a look at what's going on in Chester County, Pennsylvania, we do see EMS standby starting to pop up. Of course, it's Friday, and later on will be Friday night football. Not very busy there. That's a good thing. Now, when we come to the hospital situation, there is somewhere that's very busy, and you won't be able to see any data from there. But that is Center County, Pennsylvania, State College. I was listening to that earlier. We'll listen to it throughout the weekend. The game is not until tomorrow night. There's a Penn State football game there. They also have ESPN College Game Day. They are already extremely busy, and Some of these rural areas, like right here, Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania, that's not really impacted by the game, although they're probably going to send one of their units over to State College tomorrow to help out. Uh, Let me tell you something. They actually almost ran out of ambulances this morning, and they were sending people way southwest down here. Yeah, not a good thing. I looked it up. They had a call where they had to go 18 miles away, and it was over like 25 minutes, which does happen once in a while, but it's because the next county over was all tied up at the moment. So I'm really concerned what's going to go on there this weekend. Already heard calls for COVID as well. The rest of Pennsylvania, look at this. Busy in the Lehigh Valley again. Portions of the Poconos busy at the hospitals as well. All right, moving on. We have other more important things to take a look at. First off, New Jersey, full and total divert at Inspire Medical Center Mannington. Also, Inspire Woodbury. Let's see, any other hospitals dealing with problems? No. All right, taking a look now at what's going on with New York State, if we can. Hey, this just updated. Very good. And it is very clear that the cases here are either dropping or there is a data issue. I'm hoping that they are dropping and that hospitalizations are just lagging and will peak within the coming days. 869 cases. Let's see. Drum roll, please, for the hospitalizations. Hopefully we see a number that is lower. We do. So the hope would be at this point is that 516 would be the peak, considering cases are now starting to drop in the ICU. 52 at this time. With that being said, we do need to take a look at the update from the CDC. And you can see here we go. Cases are declining or likely declining in most states, not changing in some states, and it is likely growing in Arizona at this time. Now, take a look at this. This is where the good news stops. Of course, the South is still dropping. The West is still dropping. Yeah, the Midwest is still dropping to a degree. The national trend for wastewater is dropping. But take a look at this. The Northeast region, still seeing an increase for COVID at this time. And not only is that showing up on the CDC, it's also showing up on the brand new data from Wastewater Scan. Of course, there's Lewiston, Maine, which we took a look at. Look at Portland, Maine, and you'll see this on Wastewater Sunday as well. Take a look at this. Wastewater is still high there. The 3 wastewater sites in, we'll say, central to near northern Vermont. Take a look at this. Still coming up high. Montpelier, Vermont is still high, and believe it or not, that is still rising at this time. So still some concerns ongoing there. And the Northeast region, when we take a look at that here in Wastewater Scan, yeah, look at that. Big increase, and that goes all the way back to September 12th. I'm hoping this gets corrected. If that is correct, that would be really bad. So we have at least one region in the United States that is continuing to rise, and of course, if we go international, Europe is still rising. Now, we're not going to end the video just yet. I promised we would take a look at wastewater in Montana. Given the CDC wastewater page just updated, literally like within the last hour, I have yet to take a look at this. So we're going to see if we can. We're going to take a look at what's going on with Montana. Since it's showing Alabama, Alabama's listed at high now. No longer listed at very high. Yes, Alabama continuing to drop. That is some good news. Let's take a look at Montana. Hopefully there is at least some data there. It is one of the states that does not have many wastewater sites. Let's see what we can show. All right, Montana, you are listed at high for wastewater. And take a look at this. You actually went up. You were moderate, and now you went back to high. So that's interesting. I'm going to be investigating this over the weekend. We'll be taking a look at wastewater sites here on this page and many other pages on Wastewater Sundays. Of course, we will have a full update again tomorrow as well, and a Sunday update. If you enjoyed today's update, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new down below. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with anyone you know. And leave your comments down below. Ways to support the channel are also listed down below. I will see everyone again tomorrow and Sunday, as we will have updates throughout the weekend. Until I see you again tomorrow, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic Friday afternoon. Thanks for watching.